Welcome everyone to Frequency Soul Collective. Beck McQuilty here. Tonight we are doing our monthly training session, which is really exciting to be able to come on and be together once a month to share lots of information, whether it be we're going to have special guests each month, we're going to have testimonials, there'll be times where we'll do like prize giveaways, all different things. So we really do encourage you to join these calls and to come together as the collective that we are to really, spend time together and just share our stories and share our experiences and share what's working for us. So who are we as a collective? We are a group of like-minded souls who want to come together to, I think, move and shift ourselves, but the planet to a higher vibration. And I think that we're doing such an incredible job by building this collective and sharing this incredible tool that we have. And I just love spending time with each and every one of you. When I do get time with you, yesterday, I had a number of you here in my home here in Brisbane, and we had so much fun. And so many people just took their device to a whole new level because there's little things along the way that you will learn and new things that you can bring in for your own healing journey and to be able to assist others. So I just love that. So we want to keep doing those things and having get-togethers. And I know, Kate over in WA, they do a lot over there. We've got a team down in Melbourne. So it's really exciting. We've also got some stuff coming up in Tasmania too, which is really cool. So just to introduce myself, for those of you who haven't met me before, my name is Beck McQuilty. I live on the southwest side of Brisbane, about 35 minutes from the city, about 40 minutes from the Gold Coast, with my beautiful husband and daughter. My daughter is 9 years old. Her name is Addison. You will see her, no doubt, from time to time. If you're ever in person with her and you need to know something about your device, the chances are she will know how to do it because, she's learnt along the way. It's been a really cool experience for her. And I've just recently resigned my full-time job to take on Solex as well as another business full-time. So I'm really excited for that. I'll get Kate to introduce herself as well. She's over in the beautiful state of Western Australia.
Hello, everybody. Here I am over in WA, and thanks for having me on tonight, Bex. So I've been with Solex now for, it's about 15 months now. And my history is coming from traditional nursing for 35 years into this space. And I cannot even begin to tell you how thrilled I am to be in this space and to be growing a beautiful team around Australia. I've got a lot of people joining from WA, but we have people in New Zealand, we have people in the US, we have people looking at it in the UK as well. So, the possibilities of this business and opportunity, as well as, helping people raise their frequencies and feel the best they can, we are actually being able to offer people a business opportunity as well. And I'm absolutely thrilled to be here. So thanks, Bex.
Pleasure. All right, so just some announcements for today, just some reminders really. We do have the Black Friday sales coming up this weekend, so we really want to build some momentum up to that. So if you've been talking to people, whether it be about supplements, Illuminator, Cephi Dots, we don't know exactly what is going to be in this sale, but I would start talking to people now so that you can really get them interested to be able to save money come this weekend. I think it's really important. We also, there was something else I was going to say there, sorry, and my computer just beeped and it went out of my brain. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Oh, that's what I was going to say. We're going to try and have a call maybe Friday night. I'm not 100% sure yet. We're trying to pull it together. In regards to the MTHFR gene mutation, I'm trying to get a really incredible naturopath on the call to explain it so that people understand it, so that then they feel confident in purchasing the Prime Methylated. I'm pretty sure that will be on sale. I'm not 100% sure, but I am pretty confident. So my suggestion would be to really connect with people between now and Friday and Saturday to be able to maximize the opportunities for the Black Friday sales. I know last year for us, November was our biggest month when we had the Black Friday sale. Also, we have a Frequency Soul Collective event. Look at my spelling. See, can you tell I did that today? you'll have to excuse me, but me and my OCD noticed there's not a T in collective. It's in Hobart, Tasmania, in Lindisfarne on Monday, the 28th of November. The event, I believe, is in the QLA group, but I will put a reminder up there as well. If you have people coming or you have invited people, please follow them up because they must RSVP. They cannot come along without RSVPing because it is at a private residence, and we just want to respect that. Also, Solex LLC weekly calls. I really wanted to just hone in on that, to be able to jump on every Thursday at whatever time, you know, as long as it's after sort of 11 a.m. Queensland time, you'll be able to jump on and watch that call. If you're driving, you can also, it's a podcast on Spotify. So even if you're new, please go back to the original calls and start listening to them from scratch because there's some really incredible information there. And I know that a lot of the questions that do get asked are answered on those calls. Majority of that call is educational. They do a little bit of rank advancement stuff, and they do a little bit of, top enrollers of the week and competition. The other thing is too, it would be really great if all of us can start participating in those competitions. I would love to see us here in Australia, New Zealand, wherever you are, winning some of those competitions. I know last week one of our team won, so that was really exciting to see more and more of our names. Would be awesome. So even when I was in Disneyland, I happened to pick out Paige Haynes's name, which was complete fluke, by the way. I promise you I didn't cheat, but it kind of probably looked that way because out of all of those names, I had to pick one of our team, but I was super, super excited about that. The other announcement I have for you as well is just that the tablet-sized devices are out of stock at the moment, but they are coming back into stock this week. So if you have someone ready to order, please don't hold off on that. They will be ready to go within only a matter of days. So please don't hold your people off. So that's just that as well. We just wanted to mention. I'm going to hand it over to Katie Jane now, who's going to introduce you to the beautiful Ali with her business testimonial.
Thank you, Bex. So I want to bring on my beautiful business partner, and I call her my little sis. I met her in another business about 5 years ago, and you know, she came on board with me with this subscription device, whatever you want to call it, experience, I like to call it. And I just want to bring her on tonight because, yes, you probably saw last week she got the legacy coin, she got top enroller out of all of the whole world. And I just want to come on and have a little chat with you about, you know, the shift that we've seen in Ali in the last month with the business. So, hi, Ali, are you there? I saw her on earlier.
Yay, sorry.
Oh, there she
is.
Hi, beautiful. Yeah.
Hi, I'm so happy to be here. Yeah, I'm just totally loving Solex. I was running a business for a couple of years. That's how I met Katie Jane. And then when Solex came into my world, it was an amazing product. And I was a bit skeptical at first about quantum physics and how it all works. But you know, when you really get into the nitty gritty of how this machine works and the benefits that it has for our whole family, it's just been an amazing journey so far. And I'm really excited about the future with Solex.
Beautiful. And you can see here that Ali's pretty busy. She's got a beautiful little boy. He's a bit bigger now, isn't he? But, you know, busy mom, works a lot, almost full time. And you know, I've seen the shift in Ali just in this last month where she's just taken the bull by the horns and is just, you know, introducing people organically to the, you know, what we've got here and doing it with such ease. I mean, watching you, Ali, at the Abraham Hicks event last weekend, the weekend before, was it now? And just so easily speaking to people about what we've got here. And what we can share with other people. It was incredible to watch, and I can't wait to see you grow and just keep enjoying what you're doing and helping other people. So thank you.
Yeah, no, it's been great. And Abraham Hicks at the weekend just really solidified that we were in the right place at the right time. You know, she was talking about, you know, frequencies and alignment and, you know, shining your light. And I just really felt like we were in the right place at the right time. And what we've got in our hands is just truly amazing. And I think focusing on the end result of what it is that you want to create in this business is really the key, and really focusing on, I think I've got a coach, his name's Chris Duncan. I've been doing his work for nearly a year now. And he's been teaching us about focusing on the end results of, you know, what it is that we want to create. And Abraham Hicks was just next level. She just solidified everything that we'd already been learning. And, you know, for Solex, I really do feel like I'm living a true nature and purpose by sharing this with people, because it helps them with their health as well as many other things. So yeah, it's exciting.
Thank you, darling. You bring tears to my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So thanks a lot, Ali.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Ali. You know, I was sitting with Ali at dinner whilst we were down in Sydney, and I said to her, what shifted? What changed?
That's what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry, I'm just going to mute everyone.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, my coach has been talking about your perfect average week.
Yeah.
You know, so we've been focusing on that, what a perfect average week would look like for me. And I've really been focusing on that. And with having the little one, and I've got a big girl as well, she'll be 16 on her birthday. So between that and building this business and working, and I've really got to manage my time really, really well. And it's not something I've been really good at. So when you really hone in on what it is that's important to you and stop worrying about all the bullshit, I guess, and what people think about you, you really start to, you know, change your life, change your thoughts. And when you start changing your thoughts about yourself, everything changes in your life. So if there's one thing I took from Abraham Hicks, is we have to love ourselves. You know, we can't expect to be loved off someone else if we don't love ourselves first. So yeah, really exciting.
Awesome. Thank you, Ali. And, you know, I know that you had a shift, you know, in your confidence as well. And I feel like the only way, in talking to you, the only way that really happened was because you were doing the work. You know, you were out there talking to people about it. You were presenting the device. And even at the Abraham Hicks event, you know, you were sitting behind me and I could hear you talking to this lady. And I was just sitting there just with such joy in my heart, because I could feel your passion. It wasn't a sales pitch. It was just something you were naturally talking about that you were just so passionate about. And I remember afterwards turning around to that lady and I said to her, oh, I hear Ali's sort of been talking to you about bioresonance. And she was like, oh my gosh, like, I'm in. That's just incredible. She just resonated with it so much straight away. It was just awesome. So thank you, Ali, for sharing, you know, your story. And we're just so excited to see where this business takes you.
Yay.
Awesome. All right. So where are we up to? All right, Frequency Soul Collective portal. I'm going to bring back the Katie Jane and get her to talk a little bit around the portal, the importance of it, the value, and all of those amazing things. So I'll leave it over to you, KJ.
Yeah, thanks, Bex. I won't share my screen. I'll just talk a little bit around it. And some of you will know all about the portal, and it's something that's been created with Bex and the team to bring into your awareness, and when you start the business, that we have something already built, a portal for new distributors to come in and learn about what we're doing. And the portal is a $99. It's an absolute steal for what you get. It's just a one-off payment, and then you have some incredible information in there, anywhere from how to use your device, how to scan with your device. There is meditations in there. There's all sorts of stuff about money blocks and things, so you can really set yourself really with a strong, you know, feeling when you start this. And also what's really great is that there is like a Trello board. Now, what's a Trello board? It's somewhere where you can go, and if you are wanting to market this on a social media platform, because some people do, there's people who want to market it just you know, face to face, but you know, the world that we're living in now, it's a great place to do it on social media. And we in the Trello board that's been created for you, which, by the way, if you went and got this information from somewhere else, it would cost you a lot of money to go and get this. But inside of this portal is all the posts that you need to create curiosity. All you need to do is go in and copy paste them, change them around a little bit to suit your Facebook page or your Instagram or whatever you want to do. And it's all there for you. So I cannot begin to tell you how great this is. It's great value, and you just go through them one by one by one. There's little videos that Beck's done, beautiful meditations, and just incredible. So please, if you haven't had a look at it, go and have a look. I can show anybody what it looks like. If they want to contact me, I'll show you through mine, and then you can decide whether it's for you. But definitely it's something that is top value, I think, for $99. So thanks, Bex.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks, KJ. And I think the other thing is too that duplication really is key. How you start your business, you know, even when we brought the portal in, it was a fair way into our journey. But a lot of us went back and started from the beginning to learn that process of how we're going to be bringing people in. And look, not everybody will do that, and that's okay, because not everybody's also going to be coming into this from a business perspective, and that's okay too. And if they're not, it's probably not for them. But anyone that they are bringing into the business, or that you are bringing into the business, it's really important that we follow this process. And I can be honest and say that, you know, I shared this with corporate. I got them on a call and I said, look, I just want to show you what we're doing. And there's a couple of them, particularly Kai and Shelby, who are exceptionally experienced in this business space. And they hands down said to me, we have never seen anything like it. To have such incredible tools in the one spot for your team is a game changer. So have the confidence in being able to share that with your people, because, you know, it's something that we invested a lot of money into, but we did that as an investment. And the fact that it's only $99, this isn't about us making a couple of dollars out of you guys. We've got absolutely no interest in that. This costs an absolute fortune to build, but it costs a lot of money to maintain. So that is the only reason that there is a $99 a year fee to that. So there's a video in Frequency Soul Collective QLA page as well. We did an entire launch with the portal. Maybe we could do like a shortened version so that you guys can share that with your team, and then we can send a link. I think that that's what we might do. I feel like pop it in the chat if you feel like that would be beneficial to you. I do feel like it would. So we might do that. I think that would be really cool. But honestly, processes are really important. And as much as I don't like the whole network marketing sort of talk, the truth of it is that people will duplicate what you do. And that's just so true. So if we are bringing and onboarding people with the portal, and it's really beautiful. It's an experience we wanted people to have that's different to anything else. You know, we're starting them off with teaching them how to clear the energy space in their office and with themselves, because it's not even so much that people may or may not have come from another company, another experience. We just want to clear that energy to then allow that person to set the intention for what they want their business to be. So we then do a meditation around that. And then we do a journaling exercise, which is also really cool. And the journaling exercise, sorry, I'm just going to mute. We've just got some people off mute here. Just ask everyone to mute if you don't mind. Thank you. My brain is usually pretty good at picking up where I left off, probably except today. Today is probably a different story. So yeah, anyway, portal. That's honestly, it's the best value. We'll do a little video. Let me just check the chat. I'm guessing that there's people who have said, yeah, for sure. Yeah, I agree. I think it's such a great idea. We'll just get a little video done, a little bit of an explanation. $99 a year. I think that's definitely the way to go. So we just wanted to kind of mention that. All right. So the next thing we want to move on to is congratulating everybody for the rank advancements and for top enrollers. Oh my gosh, I was getting on a plane last week and we had 3 of our team out of 4 people in top enrollers. And I was like ready to scream the plane down. Poor Ali though, I sent her a message and I was like, oh my gosh, Ali, you're not going to believe this. And then the plane took off and I couldn't message her anymore. So I thought, oh no, poor Ali's going to wonder what I'm talking about. But I'm sure she saw the call anyway. I know she did. But what we're hoping, and I've spoken to corporate about, is that we will have a list as the months go on for rank advancements as well, so that we can make sure that we're recognizing each and every one of you, because, you know, many of you are working really hard for your rank advancements. You're working hard towards Punta Cana, which is really exciting as well. We've got that coming up. So if you're new and you would like to be a part of the Punta Cana tracking, you know, we do separate calls, we do separate trainings for it. Please let me know, or let your enrolling distributor know, so that we can add you to that group, because we do have separate calls just to help each other with that. So I think that's something amazing, and definitely, you know, something to be a part of, but it's a very, very achievable incentive. So please, if you've got goals with this business, please make Punta Cana one of them. And again, congratulations to all of our team with their rank advancements, and also for our top enrollers for the last few weeks. It's been absolutely amazing. And let's make a pact to have us in that top enrollers every single week, so that we can really celebrate each other and cheer each other on. Okay, so I'm going to hand you back over to Katie Jane now, and she's going to introduce you to Gina for her personal testimonial.
Thanks, Bex. Look at the beautiful picture of the twinnies. Hi, Gina. So Gina Sullivan is another great friend of mine, and she's here in Western Australia, in the town of Geraldton, which is north of Perth. It's a good 5 hours drive, isn't it, Gina, or a nice plane ride? But Gina is going to talk to you about her experiences. She's got two beautiful twins with autism who are I think they're 19 now, are they, Gina, or 18, something like that? But Gina's actually works with special needs children, and she has some incredible testimonies. So can you share, Gina?
I surely can. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Oh, good. I can only see you, so I'm just like working out where I am. Yes, my beautiful girls they're 18 and just left school last week, so that's a whole new journey that we're on. Obviously, a lot of emotions go with autism and a lot of sensory issues, so we're sticking dots on them. We're doing lots of different things to move some of their energy. They love their tunes. They love listening to it. In my space as a teacher, I work in a lot of different classrooms. Due to caring for the girls, I don't work full-time as a teacher anymore. I do mainly relief teaching, and a lot of those gigs are pretty hardcore classrooms. As you can imagine, the teacher's sick and the kids kind of, oh my goodness, look, what can I do to this teacher today? So it's pretty fun. My biggest testimony was I've been working with the space with I've forgotten the word. Homeschooling. So a lot of kids have dropped out of the mainstream classroom and they're doing homeschooling. This is something that happened about 3 months ago now. We had a little boy, very unregulated, very, very up and down with his emotions, can't control himself, will just snap at the slightest, if you look at him the wrong way kind of thing. And his poor mum's at a wit's end. And I asked her if she'd like me to do a scan, and he flatly refused. He's got a bit of oppositional defiance as well. And I said, oh, that's okay. So and this place we were going to was a fair bit out of town, so I didn't have my actual scanner. I just had my phone, which with the app on it. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to put into the space. I went outside, took a photo of the building, took a photo of the internal. It's like a big open hall, which is quite echoey, quite loud. And I just had my frequencies playing with love, kindness, peace, harmony, all those sort of kind frequencies. This child walked in and he could barely even hear the sounds because, autistic kids are very sensitive to sounds. So I had it on very low. He was happy. He was calm. All the atmosphere in the room just went from this high energy, kids kind of racing around and sliding on their socks imagine a great big, like a dance hall, sliding up and down as they do. And they all, then they all sort of just settled down, did their work, and, whether it was clay work or some were cooking, all different activities. Anyway, obviously because it was on my phone, I just sort of let it on continual play, and sometime during that morning, the kids had gone outside, and the energy sort of moved, and I sort of just thought, oh well, they're all gone outside, they've had enough of activities. So the parents and I were having coffee and sitting around, and then this little boy came back in totally off, is the only way I can describe it, like really. And I'm thinking, oh, what's going on? And one of the other ladies I'd been chatting to, she says, what's going on? The frequencies have stopped. Anyway, I went over to my bag and I checked my phone, and sure enough, someone had called me during that time, and it turned, it kicked off the frequencies, and she goes, quick, put it back on. So okay, so I popped it back on, and I'm, without a word of a lie, like within probably maybe 30 seconds, that child calmed down, the room calmed down, and we went back to where we had been, earlier in the day. So that's one testimony. The other testimony I do is, as I said, I go to different classrooms, and a lot of the kids are a lot of trauma, and so I do a lot of trauma. Just have it in my bag, on my phone, and just have it playing. And I am, when I don't do it, if the morning gets busy, I really notice the difference. And it gets to recess, and I go, oh my goodness, I'm going to put my tunes back on. I go back. So just in that, not even sending it to any specific child, just into, when you go into your objects and you choose objects, you just select a classroom. I might put the room number, or I might take a photo of the classroom if, obviously you can't take a photo with children in it, but I just take a photo of the space, and then I just send love, kindness, peace, harmony, whatever I can find that I feel I just do it intuitively. I've got a few playlists which I can pop into any of the groups, but I just choose what I need, and yeah, it's incredible. I've got one more testimony. What was that? Oh, yesterday I had been away. I'd been away for a couple of days in Kalbarri, and I came home, and my daughter had was experienced a lot of abdominal cramping and very emotional. It was sort of that time of the month for her. She was absolute mess. And she said to me, Mum, I need the scanner. Where have you been? I'm in pain. So I got my dot out, stuck the dot on. Within 5 minutes, she went lay on her bed and she was asleep.
Wow.
So, and that worked. That was how fast it worked for her. So that's probably my main testimonials. Yeah.
Thanks, Gina. And I'm also want to just mention, which I thought was beautiful last week, was you weren't doing too well yourself. I can't remember what was wrong, but you couldn't actually well enough. Yeah, you weren't well enough to actually pick up the device yourself. And so she dialed a friend, another friend of hers who's got a device, and she had her on the scanner, and boom, she actually helped her feel better. So I love that. I love that.
And the same thing happened. I forgot about that. That was my beautiful Monica, who's probably not on the call today. Yeah. Same thing happened to her. We're in each other's devices, and sometimes if you intuitively just let other people choose what you need, it actually sometimes is better than trying to choose it your own. I had a severe migraine last week, and I tried to sort of fumble around and put some tunes in, and I just couldn't function properly, as you know, with migraines. And I just thought, oh, I'll just ring her. And so that's a suggestion that I would say, anyone in your team that, like, I know that I'm in Katie's device, and I'm in, I think I might be in Ali's, I can't remember. And then if you're not feeling yourself, just and Monica sort of did it for me. And the things that came up was not what I would have chosen for myself, but it worked within probably 10 minutes, and my migraine was gone completely. I felt like almost like a little pop in the back of my neck. So the energy moved, and that was it. So I love that.
I mean, I've actually got a QLA at the moment who's deep sea diving in the middle of nowhere, and she's got no internet, and she was a bit stressed about having not been able to use a device. She took some dots with her because she uses it a lot for sleep. And I said, no worries, I've got your back. And she said she felt shivers because she knew that I can just run a vital scan or a comprehensive or a body systems and just intuitively send something for her without her even knowing. And I don't know about anybody else, but I don't think we've got anything else except prayer that we could do to help people out and make them feel supported wherever they are in the world. So thank you, Gina, for sharing that. That's just every time you tell those stories, I just am so grateful for you, for all you do to help those children, and for being with me on this journey.
Thanks, Katie Jane. Thanks, team.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Gina. Thanks, Katie. Some incredible testimonials there. And, you know, what I also feel around this too is us being able to help each other when we need it. And that's really what this collaborative is about. Now, in just a very short moment, I'm going to introduce you to our special guest speaker for this evening. So I don't know if anyone noticed that they snuck onto this call probably about 10 minutes ago. Some of you who are like, you know, super onto things might have seen them jump on and gone, oh, what's that person doing on our call tonight? But I'm really, really excited to have them here. So it's with that, I'm going to introduce you to the amazing James Yates, who has been a great mentor to me and to many, many others, not only in the network marketing space, but outside that space as well. And I just love James so much for the way he lives and leads his life, but also to his whole, you know, so holistic and in his practices, not only in his personal life, but then how he brings that through to his business as well. He is the co-owner of the incredible company Reignite. And I know that Katie and myself soon to be, Katie has been and I will be very shortly, are on one of James's programs at the moment. And I'm going to let him tell you more about that. But James has huge experience in the industry, but also as a successful entrepreneur, has run many programs, events, retreats in nearly, you know, every corner of the world, empowering people to live, you know, their best purpose, well-being and vitality. So I'm going to hand you over to James now, and he's going to share his words of wisdom with our team. So everyone, please jump in the chat and welcome James Yates.
Hey guys, thank you so much. Beck, can you hear me okay?
We can. Hi, James.
Amazing. It's so great to be on here with all of you, and quite a few familiar faces as well. Quite a few of you were on the, well, I saw you live, right? Only a few months ago. Was it 8 weeks ago now?
Yeah, August, a while ago. Yeah, not too long ago.
Wow, amazing. It was so great to see everyone. And look, I don't want to take too much of your time today, but I did want to just jump in and I guess just really focus on a few key points that could help you to finish this year strong, and ultimately with that would also give you some momentum to kick off 2023 pretty strong. Just drop in the comments for a moment how many of you would love to have a really awesome, you know, Christmas New Year period in your business, right? Like, how many of you would just love to have this, you know, this beautiful energy,
motivation. Jesus, when we meet each other.
What? I think there's a few people off mute, so if we just want to mute those guys, that'd be amazing. Awesome. So great to see all your participation as well. Look, guys, I just want to give you a little bit of background. For those of you that haven't met me before, I spent many years in this profession. If I couple it up till now, it's about 22 years. In that time, built some very high-performing teams around the globe, consulted at a corporate level for many different brands. And as Beck said, we now run our own organization, helping people to optimize their performance, not only in their life, but also their business. Now, the reason I share that with you is because this is my favorite time of the year. You know, when I look back at my career and I look at the years that were great and the years that could have been, it all came down to pretty much this 6-week period. Now, let's just also get a bit of a poll in the comments here. How many of you, honestly, you've had a big year, you really do feel like a bit of a break right now as well? How many of you do feel like a bit of a break? Just write yes. Give me another yes in the comments if that's kind of where you're feeling. It's been a massive few years, and I feel like we're still having a bit of a hangover of what sort of happened over the last few years with everything we've had to face. And so ultimately it gets to the point where some of us just get to the point where we can see the end in mind and we're like, right, I feel like it's time for a holiday. Beck says nope. Some of you are fired up, some of you are exhausted. But let's be honest, we are all human. We all do have a lot of different emotions. But the key to understand is that business is not emotional. So as much as we're emotionally connected, business works in a process. And when I really identified this and I learned this the hard way, that's when I started to see a lot of magic happen. You see, my first 5 years, I really struggled, and I went from failure to failure with a lot of enthusiasm. But the reason I struggled was because when I felt good, I built. And when I didn't feel good, I didn't build. And so what happened is I found that my results in my business were quite similar. Sometimes I'd have these big months, sometimes I'd have these big days or weeks, but sometimes I wouldn't have anything. And what I found is if I could ultimately separate the emotional production to the permanent protocol production, that's when the magic would happen. And so there's a little concept I call the 6-week harvest. I remember I was probably the 6th year in my business, and I contacted a mentor of mine, John. Now, at the time, he had made $50 million. That's US dollars, 50, from this profession. And I said to him, hey, John, well, he actually called me up and he said, James, how are you going? And I said, you know what, John, not too great. I'm really struggling. It's Christmas coming up. I haven't got a lot of money coming in. It's a really tough time. And he said, James, tell me, what did you do 6 weeks ago? I said, what do you mean, what did I do 6 weeks ago? He said, well, what activity did you take 6 weeks ago? And I said, I've got no idea, John. 6 weeks ago is a while in this style of business. And he says, listen, James, what you can measure, you can improve. If you didn't measure what you did 6 weeks ago, how are you going to know if you could improve on it? And I said, yeah, but why the 6 weeks? I get the measurement thing. Why the 6 weeks? And he says, listen, I want to talk to you about this concept of bamboo, right? And he started going into this old Chinese wisdom of how the bamboo would grow. And he basically said, listen, look, when you go and plant, you know, the bamboo seeds, right? You never know which shoot is going to grow. You never know, but you're watering the seeds. You constantly, you know, feeding the soil with love. You're doing everything you need in order to be able to provide the right environment for that bamboo to grow. And you don't judge which seed is going to come up because you don't know which seed's going to come up. And that's a little bit like your business. So when you're out there talking to people, when you're sharing everything that you're working with, we can't be emotionally attached to any seed because we don't know if any of those seeds are going to grow. But all we can do is we can love on those seeds. We can make sure that we water them. We give them the right environment. And ultimately, when they're ready to shoot up, they can shoot up pretty fast because this particular type of bamboo, James, he went on to say, can grow, once it hits the surface, can grow up to 2 meters in 1 day. 2 meters in 1 day. You've never seen it above the surface, and then all of a sudden, bang, it's up. And he used that as such a great analogy of the importance of not being connected to any particular outcome, but to make sure that you're completely connected to the process. Is this making sense? Drop the word yes if this is making sense. And the reason that he shared the 6-week piece is because he says, listen, your business is a little bit like the concept of bamboo, but the journey from planting the seed to it evolving and to growing is about 6 weeks. So what you did 6 weeks ago is going to start to show up in your business this week. And if you're having a week that's not feeling like it's going to plan, if you're having a week that's feeling like it's a little bit tough, go back and look at what you did 6 weeks ago. Now, why am I sharing that with you today? Well, it's not necessarily about what you did 6 weeks ago. That's a greater level of awareness. But why I want to share with you right now that if you want to have a really powerful end of the year and start to 2023, what you do in the next 2 to 3 weeks is going to set you up ultimately for a huge amount of success moving forwards. And what's so cool about this time of year is so many people are looking for what you have. So many people have problems and they need solutions. And so many people have financial difficulties and they need solutions. So many people are looking for opportunities and they need solutions. So many people are so sick and tired and fed up that they need something to change. And you can be the person that plants the seed at the right time when these people are in the looking zone at the same time you're looking for them. Because ultimately what happens here is we're just looking for people that are in the looking zone the same time that we're looking for them. But the reality is that 90% of people that you speak with are going to be either before the looking zone, as in they're not even aware that they are ready for change. They're just not, it's not even in their field yet. But there's also a lot of people that have already found something. Some people may have found another network marketing opportunity. Some people may have found a completely different business. Some people may have, found peace in what they're doing. Ultimately, your goal is not to convince them of anything but to meet people where they're at. And if you can ultimately find people that are in the looking zone, then you're going to see this thing start to really, really explode. So the tools that you've got, obviously, we've got, the Black Friday concept coming up. You've got so many ideas that you can be playing it on. But if I look at the people that inspired me the most throughout my career, the people that went on and made the millions and millions of dollars, but did it in a way that made me feel proud. Because by the way, it's one thing to make $1 million. It's another thing. And everyone uses this million thing, right? But it's one thing to make a lot of money. And it's another thing to find people that you truly admire that did it in a way that you would really be inspired by in terms of the process, right? But if you ultimately keep that piece in mind and you understand that you've got the ability to be able to really shape your future over the next little while, these guys they worked hard over the 6-week period over Christmas. They took a bit of time off with their family, of course, but they didn't allow the emotion to stop the production. Yes, you might be tired. That's where self-care comes in. We need to find habits and routines that can put energy into our bodies every single day, even when we need to perform in these moments. So if that's helpful, drop the word helpful in the comments. Very, very important as perspective when you are working with other people to also remember the same thing. Number one, people are looking, that your team members also, they're also going to be looking for people that need to also be in the looking zone. And if we provide the opportunity to remember that this is firstly something, if you measure it, you can improve on it. So that's why it's so important to know your numbers. I mean, when people say to me, so how many people do I need to speak to become successful? You know, you want to be able to answer that based on your own personal experience. I can tell you exactly this. In my career, I measured my numbers for 11 years. Now, I'm not a numbers guy. I'm a throw paint against the wall and hope it sticks. I'm one of these people that has a huge amount of energy and doesn't want to think about accounting, numbers, or anything like that. But what I realized is if I knew my numbers, I could absolutely predict my success. So I just want to give you some numbers for a quick moment. Feel free to write these down. These are my numbers, not your numbers, but hey, you can start to measure on these. So what I found in my career over an 11-year period when I measured this was that if I called people up on the phone, about 75% were contactable. About 75% were contactable. So what do I mean by that? So 1 in 4 people weren't, right? So for example, I might call today 4 friends, Beck and Katie Jane could be 2 of them. They might answer because they know me well, but there might be 1 or 2 others that don't answer, and that's totally fine. In fact, 1 of those 4 people you'll never be able to get in contact with. That's kind of what we see on social at the moment. There's a bit of ghosting going on. There's people that just don't respond ever, right? And that's totally fine. That's part of your stats. But out of the people that you connect with, out of those 75% of people, I found that about 60% of those people were open to taking a look. 60%, about 3 people were open to taking a look at what I had. So if I got through to them, I knew that I had a greater chance than not of people saying, well, look, I'll look at it. And then what I found as well is that if I confirmed my meeting, so whether it was a Zoom or in person, on, you know, one-on-one or as a group, if I confirmed my meetings 3 times, I confirmed, let's say I get off the phone from Katie Jane right now and I say, you know, on the phone, I might have said, hey, Katie Jane, look, I've got this opportunity. I'd love to share. I've got this amazing concept. I'd love to share. She says, fantastic. Okay, I'm locked in. I would text her immediately after that call, after that conversation to confirm. I would say, here's the time again on text. And then what I would do 24 hours out from that meeting, I would also confirm again. And then 1 hour out from the meeting, I would confirm again. 3 times I would confirm. And even after I confirmed that meeting 3 times, 1 in 4 still did not show up. So I had a 75% show rate. 75% show rate. So I'm going to summarize these numbers again. 75% were contactable. So if I had 100 people on my list, 75 would be able to be eventually contacted, 25 were not. 60% of those said, yes, I'll take a look at something that you've got. 40 did not. And out of the people that said yes, if I confirmed 3 times, I had 75% show up, 25% did not. Is this making sense? Just drop the word sense in the comments. This is really, really important because, again, as I said at the start, business is not emotional. This is about permanent protocol production. That the final piece of this is once I did do the meeting, out of the people that showed up and I showed them, you might have had them on a webinar, you might have had them on a video, you might have had them in person. Do you want to know what the conversion rate was for me? In my career, at my prime, 20%. 20%. I would have to do 10 meetings for 2 people to say yes. 10 meetings for 2 people to say yes. Sometimes you're going to have a purple patch where you're getting an 80% turn up and sign up rate. Sometimes you're not. But ultimately, it averaged out to be about 20%. And this is the reason that I wanted to share the 6-week harvest, because you don't know which of those bamboo seeds are going to start to sprout. But if you completely focus on the one that doesn't, rather than the other 8 or 9 people that possibly are still open, then we've missed the opportunity to be able to really invest the right energy into the right people and meet them where they're at. So that's the first little lesson I wanted to share today. It's very, very important. So what you do over the next few weeks, number one, really, really important that you measure it. So you measure what you do and you start to get to know your numbers. Because now when you bring your team members in place in the next 3 to 4 months and they say, so how many people did you actually have to speak to get to the level you're at? You'll be able to tell them exactly, right? And it becomes more realistic, because here's the problem I see in all types of business at the moment. Everyone's trying to do this way too fast. Everyone's trying to get to the point where they're hustling so fast, it's actually jeopardizing the stability of their business. They're in, then they're out. Then they're in, then they're out, whatever it is. And guys, we have so much time. We don't have a lot of time when it comes to now, between now and Christmas. We have so much time in terms of setting the tracks to run on long-term, seeing this as a long-term solution and being consistent. I'd rather you contact 2 to 3 people a day about your business than try to go 20 a day and burn yourself out in a week. Just go consistently at a number that's measurable, that's sustainable, that's consistent for you, and then ultimately try to duplicate that with your team by providing simple systems. So what I want to do is, just to finish off today, I just want to share one last thing. Most of you guys that we've worked with before, you know that I'm all about, self-care and all about optimizing energy and performance. But the way I feel that the best way to do that when it comes to the sales process of what you do here, your systems, is to give you a very, very, very simple 5-step process that you can follow so you've got more time to invest in yourself. Am I going okay for time, Beck? Am I okay?
Yes, absolutely. So I was trying to find the unmute button. Yes, absolutely, for sure. Perfect.
Fantastic. Okay,
Yeah.
So I'm going to keep it really, really simple. I'm going to write it down here. So step number 1 is your contact list, right? Let's just keep this really, really simple. Contact list. So I know we all talk about this in all types of business, but let's just keep this so super focused. Why do we need a contact list? Because that is your business. Without a contact list, we're dreaming, we're hoping, we're thinking, but we're not necessarily always able to measure or do. So the contact list could be as simple right now as writing, and I'd love you to do this right now. Who are the 10, because this is great right now for you setting yourself up for the next 6 weeks. Who are the 10 most influential people you know right now? I'd love you to write at least a memory jog right now. Think about who are the most influential people. What do I mean by influential? Who has the biggest networks, who has access to people, who's someone maybe in sales, in beauty, in well-being, maybe an entrepreneur, a community leader. Who do you know that's an influential person right now? Drop down the 10 most influential people on a list. So I put 10 on one side, and the other side I'd like you to fill out very, very shortly, but I'm going to give you another 30 seconds. How many people know a few influential people? I don't mean they're famous. I just mean you know that they've got the ability to be able to network and they've done something that they've been successful at before. Just put your hand up for those of you on camera because I can see you. Okay, fantastic. That's great. So once you've got your list of 10, then you're going to go to your other list, which is who are the 10 people you like and trust the most, and put them down as well. Now, ideally right now, these are people that are not yet in Solex, because these are the people that you're going to use as your leverage point moving forwards for the next week. Katie J, am I on some of your lists? That's brilliant. Love it. Absolutely love it. Okay, point number 2. So we've got our contact list. Number 2 is invite. Now I've got no room now to write invite, but that says invite. Okay, so point number 1 is contact list. Now point number 2 is invite. Listen, you've got the most amazing training here in terms of how to connect with people and how to speak with people. You know, Beck and Katie Jane and the whole team here, you know, they're there to support you with this. And they're going to be able to guide you on this better than I can, because you know your product better than I do. But what I will say is your invite needs to be able to duplicate with other people in your team as quickly as possible. And so remember, the key with your invite is to meet people where they're at. Find out where people are at, ask how they're doing, and ask them whether they're open to taking a look at something new. So I just want to remind you one thing. If you pick up the phone and you say to John, hey, John, are you interested in a new opportunity? The moment you say interested, you're going to lose him. He's going to feel like he's threatened. He's going to move the other way. If you say, are you open? Psychology 101, he's going to say, hey, listen, I don't feel threatened by that. Yeah, I'll be open to having a listen or having a look. So you're going to have a higher chance if you say, are you open, than are you interested? That's the key hack for number 2 today. Number 3 is the share. Now, you've got many different ways you can share your opportunity. Obviously, you've got great videos, you've got great support, you've got the ability to be able to even do 3-way calls. You've got so many tools to be able to share the information that you have. But what I want to remind you here, when you share your opportunity, is that The average person doesn't have a lot of focus these days. We're in an attention deficit world. Why do you think a TED talk is 18 minutes or less? Because people can't focus much more than that. So the key here is to make sure you get to the point. When it comes to starting a presentation, before you send someone a link, make sure they know your story. People buy people with stories. They need to know where you're at and who you are. Even if you feel like you don't have a story to share, remember there are millions of people in the world right now that are one step behind where you are right now, and they want to know how you got to where you are right now. So this is so important as well. So share your stories, share your testimonials more than anything. Number 4, that we often hear, the fortune is in the follow-up. 80% of people will join your business or buy your system here with literally within the 5th to the 12th exposure. The 5th to the 12th exposure. If you're exposing people online, it's going to take longer because, you know, we're getting exposed to so much information right now. It's taking time to make a decision. Now, most people get despondent if someone says no 1 or 2 times. The reality is it's going to take 5 to 12 exposures before the person is often ready. So remember, slow and steady wins the race. Keep watering those seeds. Stay in connection with the people that have said no. My greatest enrollments over the years as we were building teams all over the world came on the 5th, on the 6th, on the 7th, often sometimes the 10th or the 20th exposure. I had one guy that said no for 10 years in a row, and he contacted me in the 10th year and said, "Are you still doing that thing? I really want to get involved now." And he turned out to be an amazing leader. So remember, relationship building 101. You're not judging your relationships based on whether they're working with you. You're nurturing and you're watering those seeds consistently, finding out how people are doing. And I do that every month. I'm always reaching out. I use voice notes a lot, as some of you may know, consistently, constantly seeing how people are doing. Number 4 was the follow-up, and number 5 is the enrollment. Now, I just want to remind you of these again. So number 1 is your contact list. Number 2 is invite. Number 3 is share. Number 4 is follow-up. Number 5 is enroll. Why am I sharing this with you? Because this is a system that you can remember and you can measure and you can teach, and it's only on one hand. So we start by building a small list, not thousands of names right now. I'm just saying today, when you get off this call, make sure you've got 20 names, 10 most influential, 10 people that are likable and trustworthy to you. Get on the phone to them, pick up the phone. And we can send voice notes, we can contact people, we can add people to groups, we can do all of that. But hey, the old fashioned pick up the phone, it's working a treat right now. I'm working with some companies as a consultant, and I'll tell you what's happened is it's a complete flip to what it was 2 years ago. Everyone had got sick of the phone, everyone had started doing voice notes. Now everyone's sick of voice notes, everyone's going back to the phone. Those people that are willing to pick up the phone and have a real conversation with a real human are going to win right now. Why? Because people just are craving human connection. It raises oxytocin. It makes us feel good. So it's a very, very quick way to make people feel good. And when they're in a feel-good mode, they make better buying decisions immediately like that. Invite, share, follow up, enroll. This is a system. This is a process that happens over and over again. What I'd love for is maybe in 6 weeks' time, we can jump back on a call for 10 or 15 minutes, and you can let us know your numbers in these areas. So how many people did you have on your list? How many people did you invite? How many people did you share to? How many people did you follow up? And how many people enrolled in that time? Again, the enrollment is the outcome, not the action. We're not focused on the outcome. We're focused on the action. If we do enough action, then we get the outcome. So I want to share something that happened last week. We run a traditional business right now, so I'm not building a network marketing business, my own company though. Last week, I contacted 223 people on voice note and over 50 people on phone call. And people say, well, God, that sounds like a lot. That must have taken ages. I worked for 22 hours last week, 22 hours. Now that led, I'm not going to tell you the final sales result because that's obviously private to us, but that led to a big sales result. And that was only 30 people out of the 300 people that we contacted actually did something. Okay, I just want to remind you, if you stay in action, the magic happens from nothing. So people often say, so if you had to start from scratch, if you had nothing and you had to do it all over again, what would you do? I just basically do system 5. Right? I just make sure I networked and contacted people. And by the way, when it comes to your list, there's people you know, there's people they know, and there's people you don't know. Start with the first 2. That's where the magic lies. Everyone's really focused on the don't know lists. Build a contact list on Facebook. That's great. But don't forget, if you have a contact, how many of you got a phone? Just drop a yes if you got a phone in the comments. I just want to make sure you're still awake, right? How many of you got one of these things? All right, so the average person has 200 names in one of these things. And those people also have 200 names in one of these things. That means you have access right now between the first level of people that you know and the people that they know to 40,000 people potentially. because 200 times 200 is 40,000. And we so often forget to contact the people we know because we're trying to find people that we don't think judge us, right? We're in this space where we're more comfortable contacting people we don't know. Honestly, guys, let's reverse it. Let's go back to the phone, pick up the phone and see what happens over the next little while. And I can guarantee you that the Black Friday concept will blow up for you. The time period over the Christmas period will blow up for you, and you'll find yourself at the start of the new year pretty excited about what's to come because you're already in momentum. So guys, if that's been helpful, I wanted to throw a little bit at you just in terms of being able to give you some process, procedure, but also numbers. Again, all the mindset stuff vital, but let's try to separate the emotion sometimes, because when we separate the emotion, we still need it. We still got to be connected. There's an emotional, there's a heart-centered piece here to everything that you do. But remember, if you don't feel like it, you still want to be doing it, right? You still got to be employing yourself here. So if you're having a bad day, go for a run and then get back on the bus here and make it happen. And even if you make 1 or 2 phone calls, what I find is that just draws you into that momentum, and you'll probably make a couple more. But, 2 to 3 calls a day, great starting point, and that'll get you moving forward. So, Beck, over to you. Really appreciate it, and I hope that helped.
Awesome. That is so amazing, James. Thank you so much. Don't go anywhere because I want you to share something about your business in a minute that I want you to talk about. But I want to share just a testimonial of mine around what you're talking about here. Because for me, I'm still trying to find my way of what does my full-time job look like in Solex and my other business. So I sat down the other day. I know I'm going to Tasmania, and I thought, right, I need to reach out to people I know in Tasmania and invite them along to this event that I'm holding down there. I need to be proactive and take the action that's required for that so that I have people show up, right? And so I get on with it and I do all of that, and I reach out to this one particular girl and I'm like, hey, I've never met her before. In fact, I've never spoken to her on Facebook. I just looked up friends in Hobart on Facebook and she was a friend of mine. So I'm like, hey, and I said to her, would you happen to know anyone holistically minded or any holistic practitioners in your area? Because I knew she was in Hobart. She wrote back, she goes, oh my gosh, I know so many. She's like, why is that? And I said, well, I'm coming to Hobart in just over a week and I'm hosting an event down there, and I'd really love people to come along just to see something that we're bringing to market that's really phenomenal. I think they're going to love it. It's bioresonance, blah, blah, blah. And she wrote back and she goes, oh, absolutely. And she asked me if it was a particular brand. And I said, no, it's not that. It's something completely different. And I would love to do a scan for you so that you could check it out. And she come back to me and she said, send me the invite. She goes, look, that date doesn't work for me, but how about I host an event and I get people around to my house for you and you can present what night would suit you. So here's this lady. I've never met her before. She has gone all out and created an event for me to go to her home one night next week, or actually this week, to present Solex. She didn't even expect anything from me, but I said, I'm going to give you a free scan. I'll put some subtle energy frequency dots on her and her people. And I'm just so excited about it because she is just all in. So it just goes to show you just don't know who you're talking to or who you're reaching out to, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
That's just absolutely brilliant. I love hearing that. And guys, honestly, listening to that is something to take on here because you just never know. You just never know.
Absolutely. Very yeah. So, and that was all come from me taking action. Now, did everybody come back to me? No, probably, to be honest with you. And I do need to phone follow up because most of it was either email or messenger. I still have follow up and I do need to call now to get a better result. But even just from that, I'm actually stoked with that if nothing else came of it. So that's just awesome. But before we jump off the call tonight, James, I really want you to share about your detox program, because what I love about the difference of what you've created is that it's a, change one thing at a time process to create a better life for yourself and habits rather than just here, do this for 20 days and that's the end of it. So would you mind just sharing a little bit around that and how people might be able to get involved?
Yeah, absolutely, Beck. I really appreciate it. So guys, I guess, look, here's the thing. I was in this industry for a long period of time and I actually burnt myself out. I on a plane every 3 days, traveling around the world. It was a beautiful life, but at the same time, I literally wasn't taking time to invest in me. And as a result, my performance in my business was starting to go downwards in a big spiral as a result of not looking after me. So if you're feeling tired at the moment, if you're feeling like you just need a little bit of time for you, it's so important to do that. I know we talk about it a lot. I know self-care has become really big in terms of a buzzword right now, but just in terms of, you know, looking at your own life and applying it to you is very, very important. So as I was working with top leaders around the world as a mentor and a coach and a trainer for these people and consultant, what I started to see was a really common theme. And the common theme was that those people that had got to the top often, and this is not the theme all the time, by the way, but this was a theme that I was noticing, was that a lot of people that had got to the top of their plan had done it at the jeopardy of their own relationships and their own health. And so what had happened is they'd basically gone so hard after the money, they did it at the jeopardy of everything else. And I said, there's got to be a different way. This was back 12 years ago. This is when I was sitting on a couch in the UK, absolutely exhausted, and I couldn't work out how to get out of it. Chantel, my other half, and I, we changed everything we knew about success at that point. We changed the way that we approached our relationship, the way that we approached our well-being, and so much more. And we basically detoxed our way back to not only health, but also success in a much bigger way in everything that we were doing as well. The foundation of that was the protocol that we've now put in place in this cleanse system. So we've developed this cleanse system now to be able to help the burnt out entrepreneur or the person that wants to create more success in their lives, but take care of themselves to be able to get it right without jeopardizing what they do. So we've created a 21-day program. And to be honest, like to tell you a little secret, the 21-day program is literally just a way to help people actually see that it's possible for them so they can see the finishing line when they start, but it's not 21 days because this is a lifestyle change. This is about helping people make positive decisions that can help them to optimize their energy and performance in everything. Because if you've got more energy, you're going to give your business more energy. You're going to give your relationships, your family, everything more energy as well. So this program is broken into 7 key elements that you follow every single day. And they're really tiny little things, right? It's all about getting 1% better each day. So what we have is 3 guides. These guides are really, I was looking around, I actually don't have any in the room here. You got yours near you, Beck?
I do.
Yay. So you get those guides, right? And they're beautifully printed. They're proper books. You got a learn guide. The learn guide gives you the protocol of what to follow. So it gives you basically the steps. It talks about what causes toxic load on the body and how your body naturally would detox that normally. But then also when you have the accumulative effect of doing too much, having too much stress, eating too much toxins, all of those kind of things, right? All of a sudden, we get to a point where we need to know what to do about it. So this program teaches you those key steps. Has a beautiful swap out guide in the Learn Guide as well. So if you're like, oh man, I eat biscuits too much, what's a healthier alternative? Not just biscuits, by the way, guys, tons of other things, but it's all in there as well. In addition to that, then we've got a 182-page recipe guide, which provides you recipes that are very alkalizing. Beck, do you want to open that so they can see what's inside?
Yeah,
Just open
sure.
onto a recipe. So it's a beautiful,
so gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a beautiful recipe guide. It just gives you lots of different options. And again, our concept's not trying to replace 3 meals a day here. It's just replace 1 meal a day. You know, just get 1% better. In addition to that, you've got a movement guide. We actually sent a video crew over to the States to record one of the world's leading detox yoga experts of all things. The reason we brought the concept of yoga into this was not for any of the spiritual benefits. It was for because we wanted to help people to move their bodies in a way that would be supportive of the digestive process and the internal organs and providing that flexibility as well. We researched and we studied all the different styles of exercise, especially coming from where we had come from. We said, you know what? Nothing is going to beat this. This is going to be the best possible way for you to be able to get the results that you need to get to. Because how you do one thing is how you do everything, right? So if you create more flexibility in your body, you create more flexibility in your life as well. Then on top of that, you have an amazing product range. So we created a 6-in-1 superfood formula. You just chuck that into your smoothie. And that's all. And by the way, most people don't realize this. It's a green powder. So when you see a green powder, you think, oh, that's great for my, immune, digestive systems, those kind of things. Yeah, absolutely. But what it is, it's a full nootropic. So it's all your cognitive support. So memory, focus, helping you to sleep better, helping your adrenals as well, all of those kind of things. And then there's a couple of teas in there that you take as well. So the concept is it's an all-rounded approach that helps us all to be able to eliminate what's not serving us, nourish our bodies, and thrive long term. So that gives you a little bit of background. If you've got any questions, feel free to reach out. The website's on the slide there as well. And between now and the 1st of December, we're offering it for $2.99, and thereafter the 1st of December it'll go to $3.99. And if anyone wants to join the group, we've got a whole group cleanse happening. There's a lot of entrepreneurs in that as well, happening on the 2nd of Jan. So people are getting it now, getting it delivered. Some people are starting immediately, which is fine, or you can wait till the group on the 2nd of Jan, which is the Monday straight after New Year's, and rock and roll into the new year as well. But as I said, long-term plan, short and sharp opportunities to be able to sort of take care of yourself, but you've got this for life. And if that supports you, then it'll be an honor to serve.
Awesome. Thank you, James. And the thing that I love about it too is because I've been away and then I come back and I go away and I come back and I've bought it, but I hadn't started. And I said to James, oh my gosh, I feel so bad I haven't started, but I'm drinking my detox tea because it's one of my favorite things, and that James and Chantel have. And then James explained to me it is just that 1% at a time. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was like this entire epiphany to me that I was like, yeah, you're right. So if I can just change these things bit by bit by bit, and these recipes in here, oh my gosh, just amazing. I can't wait to make them all. But it kind of took the pressure. I felt pressure of myself to change everything at once. And then I realized, I'm like, no, if I can just start to change these things one by one, it will become a lifestyle change for me. And I know that Katie Jane, she's done it, and she's just done so phenomenal, with it as well. I love it when people are always saying to her, oh my gosh, you look so good. What are you doing? What are you doing? She says, it's a lifestyle change, and I run frequency for myself. Like, it's a winner. So, we appreciate you so much, James. Thank you so much.
It's such a pleasure. And Beck, on that as well, like we've just done a preliminary survey of the people that have finished the program on our pilot program. And we had 95% of people have been sleeping better, more energy, just feeling better. Some people have dropped a bit of body fat as well. That's not the goal. That's all naturally happening. People need it to happen. But, there's all of these great results. And I think what, for me, this is all about is it's about going back to what I said. If you literally want to take care of yourself, ultimately, if you can do that now and you put that oxygen mask on you before you try to help the world, then you will help the world because you're just in a better space for you as well. So, yeah, if we can help make it a positive impact, hey, I'm all this.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much. We appreciate you so much. Thanks, James. And guys, please check out reignitelife.com. James has not only the program there, but retreats coming up as well. So thank you everyone for joining us. We've had an awesome call tonight. We're so grateful for everyone, being here, and we will leave it there for this evening. It's been an awesome call. Thank you, Katie Jane, for being here, co-sharing with me as well. Is she still there? Or she left me? There she is. Oh, look, I muted her so she can't talk. See?
Hey, thanks, Bex. And look, just before we go, I would like to give a big shout out to James because I have done the 21 day. It is a lifestyle change, and Bex will be truthful. I went to Sydney during it and had to deal with being away from home, with people eating, choice foods that I was not going to engage in because I was on this program. It's become a lifestyle for me. I am more energized. I am looking brighter eyed, and I'm much happier. So thanks, James. It will continue. And I've done it day by day. The yoga's only just come in, and what's that brush thing? The brushing of the lymphatics.
Yep.
I left that till the last week, right? So it's a whole concept, and it fits in so well with what we're doing here. It's just one step at a time, and it's just brilliant. So thank you, James.
Such a pleasure. No, it's a pleasure to serve. And thanks for having us tonight, guys, and wishing you all a huge amount of success over the next few weeks and beyond.
Thanks, James. And thanks, everyone, for joining us. We'll see you again next month. Good night. Bye.